colons and semicolons for lists. A colon is one dot on top of another. It can be used in a few different ways. One way is to introduce a list. The clause before the list and the colon should make sense on its own. Here's an example. Sims put several items into the old boat: the copper pot, the knife, and scratch. You can see the clause before the colon is one complete thought and it makes sense on its own. Here's another example of using a colon to introduce a list. Sims could see many things, but not farthing: the volcano, flamingos, crabs, and a mud pool. Have a look at this list. Has the colon been used correctly? Sims wanted fresh water, shoes, and a nice hot meal. Pause the video and have a discussion. How did you get on? Well done. The colon has not been used correctly because there isn't a main clause before the colon to introduce a list. Sims wanted is not a complete idea and it does not make sense on its own. A semicolon is a dot with a comma underneath it. Like a colon, it has a few different uses, but one of its uses is to separate long phrases or clauses in a list to make it easier to read. Unlike a comma, you do need a semicolon before the last item in a list. Let's take a look. Sims wanted many things: a nice home-cooked meal to fill his cavernous stomach, bucket loads of fresh water to quench his thirst, and to see the beagle on the horizon. You can see the items in this list are quite long, and without the semicolons separating the ideas, they may be tricky for the reader to follow. Did you also notice the semicolon before the last item in the list? Let's look at another example. Whilst Sims was hoping Farthing would return, he busied himself. He created a fire on the beach, collected driftwood from the mud pools, and added more rosin to the holes in the ancient boat. You can see the colon introducing the items in the list and the semicolons separating each item in the list, including a semicolon before that last item in the list. Have a look at these pictures. They are all on the Galapagos island Sims has found himself stranded on. Can you create a list of the items using a colon and semicolons? Pause the video and have a go now. How did you get on? This is what we came up with. Although the island was uninhabited by humans, it was full of life. A volcano who constantly made its presence known, poisonous centipedes lurking under the sand, and prickly pears.